Okay, this game is never gonna look worse than it does right now because I just played a little bit of Expedition 33. I'm gonna follow it with a little bit of House that closed. Let's go. Continue House that closed. Oh god. Okay, so yeah, so just enjoying the fresh, cold air. Yes, even silence has its own taste, right? Says in about silence has its own taste. Can't get the house out of his mind. Why? Right? Why do you think, Otto? Because it's a magic house. Do you know its story? Please tell me. It's customary to remain silent about it here. No one tells the truth, fortunately. I only know that it used to be an orphanage. Did people die there? I sighed. And who will really tell the truth? That's it. I'm going to fall. I'm going to sleep. Tomorrow will be another hard day. Look at all the snow that fell. Work again for the whole day. Work again for the whole day, he said, rising from the bench and letting out a heavy sigh. I'll stay a little longer. I'm not ready to sleep yet. Good night to you, I said, watching him leave. I sat for a while longer, finishing my cold, almost icy tea. From time to time, I glanced at my watch, whose hands seemed deliberately to move very slowly. The house lingered in my mind, refusing to let me be at ease. Go to the house, John. Also, did you notice that Otto didn't leave and he's standing right next to you? Because I noticed that. Every photo is empty. I replayed it over and over in my mind, trying to find even a slight logical explanation for the phenomenon. This phenomenon. Yeah, good idea. It seemed as if someone didn't want me to discover the truth. I said, you don't want to discover the truth. Just go there. Jesus, I'm trying to make a joke about the fact that Otto is still standing next to him, but the dialogue is so stupid that it's distracting me from that. Ah, all right, let's do this. Otto, I noticed that you're standing right next to me. You said you were going to leave, but now you're just standing there. All of these are the same. We need to go up to the hill and see everything with our own eyes, I whispered, staring into his depth. This one makes sense because Otto is there, so he says we because he's talking about both of them. I could no longer live as if nothing had happened. I needed to find out whether something mystical was hiding on that hill, or if it was just a mirage, a play of light, or some other obvious explanation. I mean, that kind of makes sense. It could be a hologram or something. I felt curiosity growing inside me, an urge I could no longer contain. I rose from the bench, glanced at Mr. Otto's house, and then back at the hill. If not now, then when? I muttered. I headed toward the gate. This could be very dangerous. This could kill Sean. It's just a shame. He's a lovely, heroic guy. By the gate stood the same stick I had with me from the hill earlier in the day. I decided to take it along, carefully closing the gate. I set off on my so-called adventure in search of the truth. Hell yeah, let's go. The night was deep. The stars and the moon were faithful companions, illuminating my path like lanterns. Only when the sky was covered with clouds did I take my phone out of my pocket to light the way. Rarely as rarely as I was afraid of draining its battery. The snow creaked under my feet, each step producing a sharp sound that seemed to cut through the silence. As I approached the hill, it felt like the wind was starting to pick up. I paused for a moment, wondering if it might be better to turn back, but no! Since I've come this far, I have to keep going, I told myself. It was almost midnight. That meant I needed to reach. nearly the top, as quickly as possible. I'm excited. Something's finally happening in this game. Sound of a blizzard. Oh god, he's gonna die. The higher I climbed, the stronger the blizzard became, and with every step, it grew harder to move. My only relief was leaning on the stick I had brought with me. How can you not go back to the house? It was a freaking blizzard, man. Snow stuck to my face. I think the house is a trap to get people killed. So that I had to squint, and wind cut my cheeks like a blade. The trees and bushes bent in all directions under the force of the wind, shaking off excess weight in the form of huge layers of snow. I stopped by a massive oak tree, resting one hand on it and the other on my wooden stick. I was exhausted, my legs barely obeyed me, and my hands felt almost frozen. I tried to steady my breathing, but I couldn't take a deep breath in the cool air. I breathed in short, shallow bursts, allowing only small streams of air into my lungs. Um, why the hell did I come here? I shouted nervously. The choice was gone. I had to keep moving. Only a few meters left, and I would finally reach my goal. If I just push through a little more, I'll make it. His only hope is that the house is real and that he can go inside it. Otherwise, he's dead. For a moment, it seemed like the wind was calming down, but I wasn't sure. Maybe it was only my imagination, or perhaps I simply wanted to believe with all my heart. I sighed heavily, leaning on my stick, and continued my path. Almost there, I realized I had no strength to go any further. The blizzard was only growing stronger with each passing second. The whistling and howling in my ears sounded like the cries of hundreds of people. The wind hurled snow straight into my face, so fiercely it almost knocked me off my feet. Hundreds of people might be the others that died doing this, the ghosts. And then it was before me, the ruins of that old house I had struggled so hard to reach. Finally, I made it, I muttered to myself, forgetting for a moment that the unbearable cold that had consumed my body. I took a few more steps toward the bricks, peeking out from under the thick snow, and suddenly my right leg gave way and sank into the ground. Ah, it hurts! I shouted, collapsing into my knee. What was it? Collapsing to my knees in the snow. Oh god, he's dead. He said it's the ruins, right? That means that the house didn't appear this time. That's when I realized I had never been in such trouble before. I tried with all my strength to pull my leg free, but nothing worked. Panically, I began searching my body, my jacket pocket for my phone, but of course, in my frantic state, I couldn't find it. Damn it, damn it, damn it! I screamed, desperately trying to pull myself out of the hole. The clock read 0036. If I didn't get out before morning, I would surely freeze to death. Maybe if I were lucky, they'd at least find my body someday. The thought of dying here only fueled my panic, driving me closer to madness. So 0036, shouldn't the house be there? I guess it just didn't show up. Maybe it was never really there. Seems likely. My leg throbbed with sharp pain, probably a sprain or worse. No matter how I tried, I couldn't pull it out on my own. Well done, Sean. You've really done it this time, I muttered through clenched teeth, tugging my leg at my leg. My pants were soaked through. He beat himself. Just kidding. The cold blood on my bones. And an overwhelming, I shouldn't laugh, this is horrible. An overwhelming drowsiness crept over me. But from the survival training we had in college, I remembered one thing clearly. You must never fall asleep. I fought to stay awake in every way I could. I even started singing, though I usually hated it. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a warm flash of light behind me. I carefully turned my head, though even that small movement felt almost impossible. Right before my eyes, on a small spot, apart from the remnants of the old bricks, poking through a layer of snow, there was absolutely nothing. A real house appeared. there, okay, so I think he's saying that there used to be absolutely nothing, and a real house suddenly appeared in front of him. So real, as if it had been standing there all along. Go to the house. The wind whistles above my head, swirling the snow in every direction. I squint to try to make out what's happening in the windows, but I see nothing except a huge column of snow spinning before my eyes. Get in there! I can't get to my feet, and sitting is becoming increasingly difficult. Crawl. I tried to reach for my camera, but it flew too far away when I fell. And I don't notice the wooden stick nearby either. The house looks so real that I can't believe that just a few minutes ago there was absolutely nothing here. Just a few old bricks, and now, right before my eyes, a full-fledged house has appeared. I try in any way I can to reach it, to touch it, to check with my own eyes, and senses that it's real and not just a mirage. Don't worry about that. Worry about dying. But my leg won't obey. And with every attempt to stretch, the pain grows stronger and stronger. Crawl with your arms, man. I finally fumbled for my phone. It doesn't matter, man. Which was in my pocket. You've already tried taking a picture of it and seen that it doesn't work. Now with the shattered screen and nothing, where nothing is visible, meaning I can't call for help, and what's more, I don't even know what time it is. But if Otto's words are to believe that the house only appears around midnight, then it must be roughly that time now. I'll lie down for okay. What? No. I'll lie down for a few minutes. Then I'll try to get my leg out again. He said with a sigh. He said, it's I said. I lay down on my back in the snow. I no longer have the strength to control myself. My leg hurts so much that it seems to radiate all the way back to my back. I try not to close my eyes so I don't fall asleep. Even though feel my eyelids getting heavier with each passing second. Eyes opening. I slowly opened my eyes. Somewhere in the backyard I could hear the faint murmur of children. Turning my head to the side, I realized that I was inside a house. Outside the window, the night was deep and dark. In the corner by the window, a fireplace was burning, crackling within, and the flickering silhouettes of the flames danced on the surrounding walls like a performance. I shifted my gaze down to my legs. I was covered with a brightly colored plaid blanket. The sensation felt strange. I'm hoping that he's in the house, that he's in the glowing house, but I think it's more likely that Otto came and rescued him and we're in Otto's house. And the cold had pierced right to the bone. Now, however, they were dry, and I felt surprisingly warm, which meant that I had been here for just a few minutes. Hadn't been here for just a few minutes. Damn it, where am I? I muttered, rubbing my temples. A throbbing pain pulsed in my temples, and my leg still hurt, though not as badly as before. Fear gripped my chest, and my heart raced like it had gone mad. My pulse even palpable in my heels. I tried to get up, but nothing worked. Did you say it was nighttime? The night was deep and dark. Couldn't you just draw on dark night instead of drawing the morning? It's confusing. Pretend that it's dark out. This is not the first time that's done this to me. I tried to get up, but nothing worked. My vision darkened sharply. I lay back to avoid making things worse. My body felt impossibly heavy, as if every muscle refused to obey me. I sighed. Now I tried to focus on restoring my breathing. Deep inhales, slow exhales, repeated several times until it started to ease. I forced myself to pull it together and calm down. I needed to understand where I was, what was happening. and why I was here. My heart gradually slowed its pace, but my mind remained alert. This is kind of interesting. I kind of like this. I'm kind of imagining the possibility that the house moved over to him and like absorbed him and put him inside it so that they could save him. It's okay. I'm alive. Everything else doesn't matter right now, I muttered. Is there someone here? I shouted several times. Suddenly, quiet, cautious footsteps sounded near the door, almost imperceptible. Someone approached the door, but didn't dare to enter the room. I can hear you out there, I called. The doorknob slowly turned. The door creaked open. A woman stepped into the room. Her face was weary, her eyes filled with both fatigue and anxiety. She froze immediately upon crossing the threshold, as if hesitating whether to take another step. Who are you? I asked, alarmed. Woman. You better, you better tell me what you're doing here on the hill in a blizzard like this, she asked in a cold voice. Wait, isn't this his daughter? All these people look the same. These AI-based characters. It looks just like his daughter, I think. Not his daughter, but I mean Otto's daughter. I think looks like this. Tired of living? No, of course not. I wanted to find out why the house appears on the hill that everyone sees at midnight. You know what I mean, right? You're inside that house right now. I couldn't believe my eyes. A chill ran down my spine, sending goosebumps across my skin, and fear lodged in my throat like a heavy stone. For a moment, it felt as if I might lose consciousness from what I had just heard. But how is that possible? I muttered, unable to trust what had just heard. I feel like AI made this game. Basically, it's probably an AI story in the first place. First of all, from how weirdly it's written, and second of all, then they used AI to make everything that was described, like the images and the characters, and then AI just made everything sexy and very very sexy and very Caucasian, and also not that the characters shouldn't be Caucasian, because maybe they should. I don't know, but it's just they all everybody looks like they're related to each other, and then they or yeah, well, relatively, yeah, like the men all look the same, the women all look the same, and then they sort of failed to match the descriptions to the characters or the setting, especially the 9 day descriptions. Anyway, let's move on. But how is that possible? I muttered, unable to trust what I had just heard. The woman silently gave me a look that mixed sorrow and despair with a desire to share, as if she had long been waiting for someone to ask her that question. She slowly approached a chair near me and sat down. This house is unusual. Follow it you will. An illusion, a ghost, the supernatural. And in every name there is a kernel of truth. Excuse me, but who are you? What's your name? I asked, slightly straightening and leaning against the wall. I'm Debbie, a caretaker of the house. I'm Sean, a journalist from the city. I came to make a report about this village to help draw attention to their suffering and to save the villagers. And through my own recklessness, I ended up here. You're doing a good thing, she said softly. I try, thank you. Tell me the story of this house. Why does no one know it for sure? This house, these children, it was all my life. Here, the laughter of children never stopped. I loved every child as if they were my own. She began slowly recalling every detail. And what happened? We never asked for help from patrons or the authorities. We always managed on our own. Someone would give us chicks. We raised them and had eggs. Someone donated a goat. We had milk. Together with the children, we planted gardens, harvested crops, cooked soups, baked bread, stored supplies for winter. But one day everything changed. Go on, I whispered. One day, wealthy people became interested in this land. They came and offered to split the children among different orphanages, and they offered me money. Of course, I refused. People stood up for us. They said they would never allow anything to be built here. Some time passed, and it seems as if everything quieted down, but no. She paused as if sinking into her memories of that difficult day. I watched her face. Tears were in her eyes, but she was no longer crying. On one icy January night, someone set the house on fire, just like that. I still don't know who did it, but I understand why. We woke up to the smell of smoke. The children's screams tore through the silence. Everyone rushed to the doors, but they were barred, as were the windows. Um, what a horror. What about the children? I asked with tears in my eyes. I tried to save at least someone, but nothing worked. Everything burned to the ground, and we went up to the house. Why didn't why didn't it disappear? Why are you still here? I suppose we're stuck between worlds. Between worlds. How is that possible? While everything was burning, I blamed myself. I screamed. I cried for refusing to give up this land. Maybe then I could have saved the children and myself. I stayed silent, just watching her. Her eyes were empty. There was only an abyss in them. One I wanted to look away from, so as not to drown. She fell silent for a few minutes. Then she began again. Every corridor remembers their cries of boundless joy, as well as the grief and pain they endured that day. Their little eyes full of hope for rescue. I will never forget them. I know that every smile, every tear left a mark in these walls, and that's why we are still here at midnight. Yikes. How can I help you? I asked compassionately. You already are helping, she whispered, almost softly. But how? I asked, surprised. You're here helping the village, just as they once helped our home. If it weren't for its residents, by now some factory or a wealthy person's house would be standing on this hill. They didn't allow anything to be built here, even after the fire, so I am grateful to them, and to their descendants for their kindness. I will definitely help them, as a sign of your gratitude, I promise. The day after. This is a pretty good story. Doctor, what's the news? She asked, crying. Wait, that's his. The doctor looks exactly like him. Surprisingly, his condition is stable. After a night spent in the freezing cold, he didn't even get frostbite. Pulse breathing, everything is normal. When we found him on the hill, even his body temperature was fine. It's as if someone had kept him warm all night. The only issue is a sprained leg, but it's mild. He'll be running in a week. That's convenient. But how is that possible? She asked, astonished. Now, if I remember correctly, this lady Zoe is his wife, right? Somehow she's come all the way out here. We don't know. Near the spot where he was found, there was no traces of people or even animals. There were no traces of people or even animals. Only his own. I don't even know what to say. There's nothing to say here. He was lucky. I've never seen a case like this. Just be grateful to God that he's alive. I agree with you. Doctor says, the doctor who sees like a strange medical mystery, instead of running some tests, he's like, be grateful to God. God did this. Excuse me, I still have patience. I have to go. He said and left the room. God will heal you if you are faithful to Him. Eyes opening. Cardio monitors sound. I opened my eyes. My head didn't feel like my own. It ached, throbbed, and pressed against my temples so hard it was difficult to even think. My vision was blurry. Everything swam before my eyes. I started blinking rapidly, trying to bring my sight back into focus. I hate this. This game is killing me. So this game's almost over, I think. Uh, let's, oh my god. I can't believe I bought this game. I want to stop playing now, but I'm pretty sure it's almost over. So with that in mind, I'm going to try and finish it. My leg thankfully didn't hurt, just a faint ache, nothing serious. My body, however, oops. Felt foreign to me, heavy, sore, and aching in every inch. Frowning, I tried to remember how I got here. It was hard to recall right away. My memory was fragmented, broken into 1,000 tiny pieces that I now had to piece together like a puzzle. That's confusing for me because I remember everything perfectly. Hard to be in character. Then Zoe entered the room. I was so glad to see her, though I couldn't help but feel awkward in her presence. I'm sorry I didn't keep my promise, I said to Zoe with a sigh. What are you talking about? She said, sitting behind me. That my vacation is canceled again, I muttered with a smile. Sean, you almost died, and here you are taking some vacation, she said, taking my hand. I can't really remember what happened. The doctor said that a local resident you stayed with reported you. He got worried when you didn't return and called the police and the ambulance to search for you. Otto, his family took me in. They're such kind people, I said with a sigh. Thanks to their compassion, you're talking to me now. Yes, I definitely have to help them, I said resolutely. What do you have to do? Finish what I started. The reason I went here in the first place. Can I help somehow? I think so. Tell me, what do I need to do? Stop bugging me about your damn children. I mean, our damn children. And is your friend still working at the archives? I asked with curiosity. That's convenient. She's a friend at the archives. Yes, why? You need to find data about the orphanage. See now, like a smarter writer would have when they decided to write this in at the end, would then write that in at the beginning, and then you'd have foreshadowing from earlier on, and then it wouldn't just seem like a Deus Ex Machina right now. You need to find data about the orphanage that used to be in the village of Balkans. All right, but why do you need it? She asked, intrigued. I'll tell you everything later, okay? Okay, anything else? My camera and recorder were with me. Can you bring them? I'll ask the doctor where they are. Thank you. I lay on the hospital bed. The monitor I was connected to monotonously beeped. It's beep, beep, beep. It's kind of ridiculous that he just expects his camera to be found. It was a blizzard, man. Your camera would be decimated. In my mind, everything was tangled. I thought about the village, about the promise I had made to help. And even more, I thought about the promise I made to Debbie to help the village again. I felt that I had to do it, not just as a journalist, but as a person who remained alive thanks to those who are long gone, and thanks to those with good hearts. I turned my gaze to the window. The sky was gray, and the heavy, swirling snow hadn't stopped. Winter continued to show its character. A few days later, trophy room finished what I started. Recovering at home is better than a hospital room. I stretched out on the bed and covered myself with a warm blanket. The comfort of home walls heals faster than any hospital. The only drawback is that I broke my camera. Although we managed to recover all the data, I still feel a bit sad that it's broken. I had grown so used to taking photos with it, and I've been through so much with it. Well, let's get to work. I rubbed my hands together and got out of bed. I think said Alan. It's all pretty much the same. Wait, he's actually at home? I'm confused. I was just looking at the hospital a second ago. I think he was supposed to be home the whole time, but they just showed the hospital a few more times. I sat at the table. The desk was quiet, just me and my thoughts. I opened my laptop. On the desktop was a folder labeled Photos Balkans. Inside, photos of the village. For a moment, I realized I missed this place. I opened the folder and began scrolling through the images, one by one. Broken windows of old houses, snow-covered yards, damaged fences, people with kind eyes, well-kept animals, and happy children. The very last photos were of the hill where the orphanage once stood. Those few remaining bricks were still visible in the picture, but not just as a blur. Well then, let's make a sensation out of this article, I said. Zoe entered the room, placing a large, I'd say even gigantic, folder of documents in front of me on the table. What's this? I asked, not immediately realizing what it was. What you asked for, archive documents about the orphanage. Thank you, Zoe, you're the best, I exclaimed, kissing her. Okay. I opened the folder of the documents Zoe had brought. My hands trembled. I was a bit nervous. On the first page was a photo of the same woman with happy children, the orphanage visible in the background. Perfect. I think I have an idea. I flipped through the old pages. They'd been there so long, I felt as if they might crumble in my hands. With each document, I read old reports, inspection records, testimonies from mysterious, obscure individuals. It all became clear. The village had been abandoned once before. When the village was burned, no one heard what the children's cries, and no one had been held responsible for what happened. Everything was covered up. They forgot about the Balkans then, and now they were forgetting it again. I felt resolve growing in my heart. I moved the laptop closer to me, opened a black document, and the cursor blinked, as if waiting to hear what I was ready to tell. All right, phew, let's begin, and started typing, word by word. In bold capital letters, I wrote the headline of my report. Balkans, the story of a village abandoned twice. The village of Balkans, a place that once thrived. People believed in tomorrow, worked, built dreams. It was a place of life, and now silence. Authorities have forgotten this village, but people don't give up. They don't stop. The words poured from the depth of my soul. I wrote without stopping, adding photos, excerpts from my dialogues with people who had lost hope that anyone would hear them. We no longer expect help. We help each other, ourselves. It's hard, but we must hold on. I decided to remind readers many years ago this village had already been forgotten. I exhaled, caught my breath, and continued. The village of Balkans was already forgotten decades ago, and back then, that neglect cost too much. The orphanage was set on fire along with everyone inside, and it was forgiven. The guilty were never punished. And I would have never learned this story if the house itself hadn't wanted to tell me. Don't believe it. Go to the Balkans exactly midnight. This house appears on the hill like a ghost, as if reminding us that you can destroy documents, hide witnesses, but you can't erase them from history. I only paused briefly to catch my breath. My heart pounded as if an earthquake had erupted in my chest. I wasn't just writing text. I wanted everyone to read it, to understand. This place still lives and deserves to be heard. That's it, sending it to print, I said. Catching my breath, I pressed the button. Several moments later, my whole family is going on vacation to the same village of Balkans, which has recently begun to flourish as it once did, and perhaps even more vigorously. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I don't want to do this anymore. Outside the window, trees, fields, beautiful houses, and hillsides and smooth roads flash by. Everything that I once saw in ruins and complete darkness now sparkles with colorful lights. He did it. I can't believe I did that, I said with a smile. I believed you would succeed. Well done, Sean, she said with a smile. What are you doing? Striking, you shrunk, you're standing on you're standing on the seat next to me. Arriving in the village, I noticed that a tiny version of Zoe was standing on the seat next to me, and it freaked me out. Also, I noticed that there were quite a lot of people on the streets, all strolling leisurely with cameras and ice cream in their hands. The village was not just alive, it was thriving. Car horn sound. I slowly drove down up to Otto's house and honked at him. He was standing at the entrance with the same friendly smile as before. He slowly approached the gate. We got out of the car and smiled back at him. I didn't think you'd return to us so soon, he said, smiling. How could I not come back? I'm even thinking of buying a house here in the village to spend my vacations, I said, smiling. I never imagined this place would be so alive again. Thank you, Sean. You saved our village. Thank you for saving me on the hill. You won't believe it. People started coming after your article. Whole buses of them. Someone opened a cafe. Locals are renting out rooms. The shop is back in business. And it's all thanks to you, he said, putting his arm around my shoulder. They come because the people here are special. And even the air, I said, hugging him back. Come inside. The bread is already baked. Let's have lunch, she called from the doorway. We entered Otto's family's home. A warm, cozy place, just as it had been when I first met them. We still haven't met Otto's son the whole time. The only difference was that the children had grown up quite a bit. Dad, how long have we been away? We sat at the table for a long time, talking about life, how the village had changed, and how people were finally beginning to believe in tomorrow. We laughed, joked, and enjoyed delicious homemade food. As night fell, we went out into the yard and drank herbal tea. The air had turned cool, and the sky was full of stars. We all fell silent because the moment had come. Exactly at midnight, the house appeared again on the hill. The same house that had changed the lives of everyone currently in the village of Balkans. The end. At midnight, we remember. Oh God, that killed me. A house that glows, trophy earned. So I'm hitting the X button and nothing's happening. So I guess this is just the end. I'm gonna hit the log. So I can go back, but I go here and then it's just the end. So I can hide it and then it's black. Um, I hit skip, nothing happens. I hit auto, nothing happens. So I'm gonna go to the menu. I guess it's over. So I'm gonna go to title. Are you sure you want to quit the game? Any unsaved progress will be lost. Yeah, I guess I'm done. What else is there to do at this point? Should I save at the end? I guess I could save it. Let's save at the end. Yeah, I guess we'll save over it. And so now if I load this up, I can look at the ending, which is just the end. So we'll go to the title. Yes. There's okay. So there's no credits. New game continues settings. To me, this confirms that this was written by AI. Like nobody even wanted credit for anything. Nobody wanted credit for the art. Nobody wanted credit for the story or the game itself. This is just a straight up AI cash grab created by nobody. Like, yeah. And of course, the AI won't demand credit because, So if this was made by, for instance, ChatGPT, nobody has to know because who cares? It's not like ChatGPT wants to be famous or can be paid money. This makes me sad. Well, I paid $2 for this game, and I wouldn't say that it wasn't worth $2. It's really wasted my time. It was sort of a heartwarming story. Anyway, let's end this. Save recent gameplay full video. Uh, Please like, subscribe, click the bell, leave a comment. Love you guys. Bye bye.